So I am here standing outside the King's Cross railway station located in the heart of London. Just 3 miles to the north of Westminster Abbey, King's Cross is one of the busiest stations in all of the United Kingdom. Adjacent to King's Cross is St. Pancras International Station, which transports millions of people across continental Europe. The King's Cross area was named after a statue of King George IV was erected here in 1830. Standing between the Battle Bridge crossroads, the statue lasted for only 12 years before it was demolished in 1842 due to ridicule from the locals. While the statue may be gone, the name continued to stick until this day. By 1850, the Great Northern Railway built its way towards London, wanting to create a gateway to the north. However, before King's Cross could be completed, a provisional station was built at Maiden Lane, officially named the London Temporary Passenger Station. The main feature of Cubit's design are the 2 round arches, with each arch on top of 3 lower arches. The lower arches were designed to be entrances for passengers. Between the 2 arches, an 112-foot tall clock tower stands, containing a 1.5 metric ton brass bell. Unlike much of the architecture of its time, King's Cross Station lacks distinct Greek or Gothic influence. In comparison, the station is rather plain. Cubit received his fair share of backlash from his stylistic choice, as we will later see. George Hamilton writes in his book 19th and 20th Century Art that Cubit's courageous decision to eschew historical data may have been prompted by Paxton's Crystal Palace. The Crystal Palace was a 1,851-foot-long metal and glass greenhouse created to host the Great Exhibition of 1851. Both pieces have a similar arched glass roof on top of an iron frame, and a general elongated cylindrical structure. This is especially evident when looking at a direct comparison between the 2 works. Response to King's Cross was generally negative after its release. The location was described as a long battalion of rag sorters and cinder beaters. To rub salt in the wounds, the Gothic St. Pancras station was being built across the street. As the locals became more ashamed of King's Cross, small, random buildings started to pop up in front of the facade in attempts to cover up Cubit's creation. At its inception, the station only had 2 platforms, one for arrival and another for departure. And over the years, more platforms had to be added as the demand for travel increased. The aesthetic, as well as the functionality of King's Cross, has changed over time. There have been several remodeling and restoration projects for the station. Most notably, £500 million was budgeted to create a semicircular dome-like structure to replace the former extension of the station. The roof has a 59-yard radius made up of 2,000 triangular glass and steel roof panels. The restoration project was finished in 2012 and won a European Union Prize for Cultural Heritage and a Europa Nostra Award in 2013. One of the station's claim to fame is being featured in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter book. King's Cross is the starting point of the Hogwarts Express, and wizards have to run through platform 9 3/4 to access the train. Due to the book's and film's popularity, platform 9 3/4 has become a tourist attraction that millions of people visit each year. The current King's Cross station is a representation of modern art meets past art, 21st century meets 19th century. Louis Cubit attempted to challenge the status quo by creating a simpler structure despite the backlash he may receive. By taking a chance and a little bit of inspiration, Cubit created one of the most iconic locations in all of London.